What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 110 of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast. My name is Dave Knittel, here with my two brothers, Christian and Matt, to discuss stories from around the soccer world. Christian, hello.
Hello, Dave. I just realized our next podcast will be 111. That's Mom's birthday.
It is Mom's birthday. It's also aligned numbers, repeating numbers. It's good sign.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Shout out Kristen for that. Matt, hello.
Hello.
All right. People who are joining us live on YouTube, say hello, interact with us as we go along here. We would love to hear from you. I have the chat feature up here in the background. And yeah, let us know your thoughts, concerns, questions, comments, so on and so forth. And with that, I think we're ready to jump into the podcast. Guys, are you ready?
I couldn't be more ready.
All right, Matt, I don't care if you're ready or not. We're jumping into it.
All right.
Come on, he just doesn't even care about you.
Yeah.
We're jumping into it.
We're diving into it, you might say.
Oh,
We're making into it.
we're cornering into it.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 110 of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast. My name is Dave Knittel, here with my two brothers, Christian and Matt, to discuss stories from around the soccer world. Christian, hello. How are you doing today?
Hey, Dave. I'm doing really well, actually. I got to play soccer today for the first time in almost 3 weeks. And my shoulder has no pain. So, we're making strides here. And I bowled this weekend. So, I really put it to the test.
That is fantastic to hear. How'd you do at bowling?
Really bad because I had to adjust because I did have pain on my first bowl. So I had to change the way that I was bowling. But, I mean, it is what it is. As each round went, I got better and better. So, yeah.
I have more questions.
Yeah,
okay. I have more questions, but for the sake of the podcast, let's just leave it where it is. But I'm happy to hear you're doing well rather than just okay, which I feel like you say a lot of times where you're just doing. And so
there's no Liverpool game to let me down this weekend. So I feel like that's pretty good too. Although not this
Liverpool.
season.
What? Yeah. What are you talking about?
Usually we're recording on Sunday. So then Liverpool didn't actually play. They play a lot of games on Saturday. And then usually the Eagles are about to play, and I'm really fucking anxious and scared.
Okay. All right, there you have it. Matt, sorry we haven't gotten to you. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Dave. Thanks for asking. I don't really have anything to update people on. I've just been hanging out this week.
Yeah, you put on a little bit of weight. Would you like to update people about that?
Yeah, I put on almost 20 pounds since I've gotten back from Europe. So it was 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks. So it's been an interesting last 2 weeks for me.
All right, nice. I know that game. I put on a decent amount of weight when I get home. Guys, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. I slept 11 hours last night, which I never do. I got up and we're actually recording a little bit late because I slept for so long. And I also watched the interview last night. It had its funny parts. Overall, it was really dumb. But the Siberian tiger part, I was just losing it. I could not stop laughing at that part. The rest of the movie was okay, but I know you guys are fans.
Yeah. I actually watched that yesterday too.
Oh my God, brotherly connection. What do you know? All right, Christian, do you have our trivia question this week?
I do have the trivia question. And shocking, everybody, alert, it's not about Liverpool or Messi this week. So it's brand new. All right, so can you guys name the date, so specific date, the last time before yesterday, Royce and Goetze both scored in the same game for Dortmund?
Okay. I like it.
It happened yesterday, not yesterday. The game before that. When was the last time?
All right. We will think on that and give our guesses at the end before Christian reveals the answer. Before I kick it over to Matt's Megs, we have hoodies on sale until February 10th. $35 for every hoodie. Nope, $35 and $3 for every hoodie sold is going to the charity Balls to Cancer. Also, Christian's company is kicking in and matching our donation, which is awesome. So hopefully we can raise money for that awesome charity and make money to support the podcast. And you get an awesome piece of merchandise. So we have that linked in the video description. Go click that and podcast show notes. Click that and buy a sweatshirt. Matt, over to you for Matt's Megs. Why are you guys chuckling to yourselves?
I didn't actually ask them yet, but they will do it. I've just it's funny that you
his company.
PayPal. I have not asked them yet.
Oh, okay. All right. I've been telling everybody that, so hopefully they match it. Okay. All right. Because you told me that they said they would. So this one's on you if this doesn't happen. But Balls to Cancer, fear not. We will. Okay. Fear not. We will figure out a way to match the donation. Matt, over to you for Matt's Megs.
All right, thanks, Dave. Hi, welcome everyone to Matt's Megs. This week we're going to talk about. Let's get started with some happier news. With kind of happy, sad. Tim Howard retiring.
Happy sad.
So happy, sad. Yeah, Tim Howard, United States goalkeeper, Colorado Rapids goalkeeper, was on Manchester United, Everton, and somewhere else in
Metro Stars back in the day.
And Metro Stars. I said, man, why did you shake your head? Manchester United.
Because they're disgusting, both of those clubs.
Okay.
No, I didn't shake my head.
Oh, I thought you were shaking your head at me. Okay. Yeah, but his career, he's 39 now, and he's going to retire after this MLS season. I'll start with Christian. What do you make of his career and the fact that he's retiring after this season?
Oh my God, I never start. This is so crazy. All right, so Tim Howard is a legend of the game. In my opinion, he is the best American ever. And I know that's hard to say with
greater than George Washington.
Oh wow. All right. So yeah, yeah, absolutely he is. So he's the best American soccer player ever. He really just, you think back to that Belgium game, that really cemented his legacy. Incredible World Cup record. Was it 16 saves, I believe?
15 or 16.
Either 15 or 16. It was incredible. Every time he stepped on the field for the U.S., he was immense. Even with Everton, with Manchester United, he played his role. He was absolutely fantastic all the time. Was in discussions for the best goalkeeper in the world at times. I don't think he ever actually was that, but he was always in the discussion. He really, there's nothing else I can really add other than he is a true American legend. And it's going to be sad to see him go.
Dave?
I'd agree with a lot of that. Now, I'm not ready to say he's the greatest American player ever because going back, I don't even know if he's the greatest American goalkeeper ever because we weren't really following when Friedel and Keller and Miola were coming up. And I know that they were very well respected around the world as well. So I don't even know how he compares to them, but he is one of the greatest American goalkeepers and players ever. His career overseas speaks for itself. I do think he's pulling a little bit of a Brett Favre and sort of holding on, and his legacy is sort of going down now. He is not performing. I think he's getting paid $2 million from the Rapids. You get paid what you're worth, but ultimately, I just think that's too much money for his performance right now, and he's sort of just hanging on. And I think it also might be stunting people, Zach McMath in Colorado. I think he's still there. Actually, he may have been traded, but just the next level of goalkeepers. And so, I don't know. I just worry from that perspective if he's just, for the immediate aftermath of his career, if he's going to have not a tainted legacy, but we're going to not remember him as the great player. And then after 3 to 5 years, then we'll all remember him again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that. I was thinking that he should have retired after last season, considering, just kind of how it went and how he hasn't really found too much success at the Rapids. But I think he is the best goalkeeper in United States history. I think I'm pretty comfortable making that statement. And, just what he did at the World Cup, even though we lost that Belgium game, it was only Wondolowski. Just put that ball.
Oh, yeah. Let's not relive that.
We could have pulled that game, but yeah.
It's mine.
Yeah. But I think he is going to go down as, a top player for this country. And I think he's cemented as the best goalie. I agree with a lot of what you said, making $2 million and kind of stunning the growth of maybe their future. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Christian?
I don't agree with that. It's going to taint his legacy by playing an extra year. I think that players we've seen it all before with Lampard, Gerrard, they left probably a year or two after they probably should have with the top teams, but people will remember what they did. And I don't know, maybe a goalie you're thinking is a little bit different because they're in the spotlight and they are very big with reactions. And yeah, their positioning probably improves with each year, but they are slowing down a little bit. I just don't agree that it's going to taint his legacy. I think the fact that he's on a not so great team might play a little bit into it, but I mean, Colorado might have a little bit of a bump this year. I don't really know how great they've been with their business.
Well, I don't think they can be much worse than they've been. No, so yeah. I expect them to bounce back a little bit, but I don't mean taint his legacy because legacy is sort of a long-term thing. I more mean in the immediate aftermath because we remember watching Gerrard for the LA Galaxy, he just wasn't very good. And then so he retires, that's sort of fresh in your mind. And then Yeah, and well, whatever. But so then Lampard, let's say Lampard, he had those injury, concerns. It took him forever to get to NYCFC. You remember that immediately after his career ends. And then, once it gets to be a couple years later, then you start to, really remember the full legacy. It's more just like a mental thing where it's fresh in people's minds. And if he would have just retired, maybe last year, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal for Howard. But at the end of the day, he's a legend. His long-term legacy is going to be fine. So, congrats to him on a fantastic career.
Yeah. It's really when they get their icon cards in FIFA is when they really start to cement their legacies, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
All right. You guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right. So next topic, we're going to talk about Thierry Henry, former manager of AS Monaco. Was fired earlier this week. His record with the team was not good. I think they're still bottom 3 in France.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a horrible week. They lost 5-1. And then they lost again this week. They have like 3 losses this week or something like that. And Henry was fired. Dave, what do you think about the firing? Did he have enough time? Was it appropriate?
So I love that we record this podcast because I don't remember what episode I said it on, but I was not a fan of this Henry appointment to begin with. I believe both you guys were big fans of it. I was concerned that he couldn't handle this is his first pro job, and it was a tough job to come into because Monaco was switching their recruitment policy from really just recruiting young players with potential. And you really have to develop those kids and make them into players. And Henry, being the legend that he is, I didn't know how well he could relate to those young players and get them to perform and rise. And I think it's kind of been proven that he wasn't the right man for the job, given the situation at Monaco. Maybe if he came into a different situation like, Zidane at Madrid, where he just had to sort of manage egos and already established players, he could have been more successful. But I think given the situation he was put in, he wasn't set up to succeed, and he certainly didn't succeed. Now, having said all that, I'm not a fan for firing managers after 3 months. So I think they probably should have given him more time, but they ultimately never should have hired him in the first place.
Fair enough, Christian.
I remember I was a little bit excited to see what he could do. It is a former team of his that he played on at the start of his career. It was a little bit too much for him. Obviously, he came into a situation that wasn't ideal to start a career. It wasn't like Zidane walking into Real Madrid, where he came into a situation where they had world-class players already. Monaco used to be very, very talented. The squad they built a couple of seasons ago was incredible, and they just changed their policies. They started selling and just trying to bring in money instead of spending their money. And we see it over and over again in teams across different leagues. If you don't spend your money, it's really hard to keep up these days. It takes too much time to develop. And I know that's one policy to go by, and it's really good for a lot of teams to do that, but it's really not that successful. And Barcelona doing it was one of the only teams we've actually seen do it very, very well, in my opinion. I know some other teams are producing a few players that are really good, but they're taking too long and they're being loaned out. They're not given time at the club to try and build themselves up.
You mean at the top end, right? So, because there's like Ajax, and I know a lot of the Portuguese teams are good at developing players, but yeah, at the top end, I think Barcelona. But even nowadays, Barcelona is falling back. Maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah. So for me, I think it was time for him to go, considering what we talked about last week and how he kind of lost his cool during a game, and he wasn't acting, I guess acting the part. As manager, he didn't seem like he had control over the team, which is something I was surprised about, and just in control of his emotions. I mean, I'm sure it's frustrating for him, having success throughout his whole career, then kind of being put in this situation. And even Belgium this summer, where he was coaching there, it was an incredible team where they went to the semifinals. This was the first time I guess he had to deal with, losing or being the worst team in a lot of those games. So I don't know if I'm blaming him for where Monaco is, because they are really struggling with talent. And I know they had so many injuries. At one point he had I want to say it was close to 15 injured first team players. And so I mean, it's not like it was an easy situation, but I thought he was going to do better. But considering what he did, I think firing him made sense.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Anything else you guys want to add?
Nope.
I'm good.
All right, moving on, last topic. Felipe Coutinho, ex-Liverpool star and now Barcelona player, has not
like
been...
how you said Liverpool star, Barcelona player.
Well, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Has he been judged fairly in the media? He's been taking a lot of criticism, considering he probably hasn't lived up to the reputation he built himself at Liverpool, at Barcelona. Christian, what do you think about the media talking about Coutinho?
You know, the scrutiny the media is going to put on you at those types of clubs is immense. I think that him moving to Barcelona definitely made sense from Liverpool. He was probably their star player at the time. He really, really is a special talent. But at Barcelona, I don't know if it's because of the stars that are around him and he's not the main focal point or what. Him being a role player just doesn't seem to fit his style. And I know he's playing out wide. I think he is more of a number 10 that should be playing more centrally, especially in that type of setup. Ousmane Dembele was under extreme scrutiny the last year or so. I know a lot with his antics of not showing up for practice and training.
Too much Fortnite.
Yeah, but he's come around and is starting to be a star now. I think it's going to take time for Coutinho. We have to remember it's been almost a year now, and he's still kind of incorporated. He hasn't been with the team for one full season yet. I think at the end of this year, he'll get at least more time next year, and we'll see. I think with a lot of their signings, with De Jong coming in, they have brought in real talent in the midfield, and I think Coutinho can play in there. I think it'll be Busquets. I don't know if Artur is going to start, but I think Coutinho needs to be more center, and right now he's being played out of position and people are judging him on his ability to play on the left wing when he's really not comfortable in that position.
Dave?
So the World Football Phone-In podcast talked about this week, and they're like real journalists and know the players a lot better.
What are you trying to say?
And so they said basically that he's a player that really thrives off of encouragement, and he can, be, yeah, when things aren't necessarily going his way, he can get really down and really underperform. So, I mean, Liverpool signed him for like £8 million from Inter Milan, and they built him up into this fantastic player, I think, because they built a team around him, and they also just were encouraging to him as a player. And so maybe he's not getting that at Barcelona, and they're not maximizing his potential from that perspective. In addition to what Christian said, is that he's been being played out of position. So the media judging him harshly, I mean, at the end of the day, you can only judge him on how his performances have been. And so I don't know if it's harsh. They're judging him based on how he's played. I think it's more on Barcelona to put him in a position to maximize his talents and maximize, the team's performance. So I think you can kind of come at it from that perspective.
Yeah, I think he's just missing, hugs from his manager, and that's why he's not playing well. He's
not being embraced.
Yeah. He's not getting that encouragement, but I think he has been treated fairly, considering the price tag that he was bought for, and the player he was before. I mean, he is supposed to be. At one point, he was one of probably like the top 20 players in the world, and there probably wasn't like debating that. He was incredible for his last couple months at Liverpool. So it's just surprising to see him kind of take a backseat at Barcelona. Maybe not surprising, but you would expect more. And I think the media is able to judge him, considering he plays for the biggest team, is the South American Brazilian starter, and he's just not doing incredibly well there. So I think, as much as we like to kind of protect players, well, at least me and Dave and Christian likes talking shit on players.
Blame them.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he kind of should be.
It's because they took my spot. Like, I should be out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he should be kind of criticized and, have be under fire. Yeah, that one.
Aha.
There you go.
Burn.
Anything else you guys want to add?
I'm good, Christian.
Sure, I would love to. All right, so Felipe Coutinho. I think that he is being judged fairly, honestly. I think it is going to be harsh from his point of view, but he isn't up to his standards, and he's not providing the goals or assists. He is sitting on the bench now because, I mean, who's going to start him over Messi, Suarez, and Dembele right now? They're all in incredible form. And Coutinho will and has opened up and said, yeah, like, I'm just not that confident right now. And he missed 2 one-on-one chances with the goalie yesterday that, like, I never would have expected him to miss when he was at Liverpool. And I think he's just maybe not in the right system. And I know it looks like Valverde will be leaving at the end of the year and they will bring in a new coach. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with his progression at Barcelona.
I saw something where Barcelona has 13 center mids now.
Yeah.
They want all the center mids.
Yeah, they're just
nobody else will have
until they find somebody that can replace Xavi and Iniesta. They're just going to buy every center mid until they can find them.
I think De Jong and Artur are going to be very, very good for them over the next 10 years.
I haven't watched De Jong. I mean, I know he gets so hyped up, but I don't.
75 million seems a little steep. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying like it's a steal, and I was like, when has that become a steal? 75 million.
Although Van Dijk, I mean, it seems like a steal for me right now at 75 million.
I don't know if steal's the right word. I think he's properly valued.
He's the most expensive center back ever, right?
We stole him.
Yeah, and he's performing incredibly well. But I mean, that is a huge amount of money to pay, and so I don't know if a steal's the right word.
$1 billion for him.
Okay. Reasonable.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for joining me here at Matt's Megs. Listen to a little bit of music, and we'll be right back.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Steven's joining us, and he says Coutinho is not even the best Coutinho, South American Coutinho of all time. Santos had one in the 60s. So there you go. Fun fact for you guys. Thanks, Steven, for that. Facts. You guys want to do the stadium scene plug?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so ready?
It's whenever you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. I think he's hungover now all of a sudden.
As he's drinking?
Yeah, he's like his head just started. All right.
That's how you get rid of it.
Check out our partners over there at Stadium Scene. Check out. Oh, no, God, we're going to start over again. Nope, I didn't like that.
Just keep checking them.
Nope, we're just not going to keep checking out.
Check.
Want to give a shout out to our partners, Stadium Scene. Check them out at stadiumscene.tv. And if you're going to any stadium, any sport in the U.S. or Canada, you go to that site, they'll tell you where to park, what to do around the stadium, what restaurants, what bars to go to, all this good stuff. And it's very, very helpful when you're traveling.
They also partner with content creators like ourselves and offer things like blogs, podcasts, YouTube channels, and great content that companies like ourselves put out. It's not just soccer; it's all sports, and you can check them out at stadiumscene.tv.
Great stuff, guys! Fantastic work. Steven says Bud Light is crap, so I know that's what you guys are drinking over there.
Oh, you, Steven.
Goes down like water.
There you go. Okay, Christian, whenever you are ready.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Christian's Corner. Let's get this started. I know Matt's not feeling great, and I'm just going to keep screaming right in his ear because he just looks like he's enjoying life. All right, so we're going to start with Aboubakar Kamara of Fulham. All the, let's just call it all the shit that happened this week. You might as well. He has lost it a little bit. He got into a fight with a security guard while trying to barge into the owner's office to discuss his future, and now has been banned from the club and is not allowed to go to training or anything. Matt, I'll start with you because you look very, very ready. What do you think about this situation?
It's definitely a bold strategy for him. That's a bold contract negotiation tactic right there. But yeah, I mean, obviously that can't happen. I'm surprised you don't hear more of this in soccer. Well, I know like when Mancini was at Man City, like there was fights like all the time. No, but like I feel like
Balotelli.
I mean, it's an emotional game. You know what I mean? Like, and like people are like, I'm surprised people don't lose their cool more often. I'm just gonna say that. Like, it's just surprising. I mean, it's good, but I'm just surprised by that because like at Man City, even like there was like fights all the time, and like people weren't banned from the club. I mean, they eventually got told or fired, but
people weren't trying to attack the club president. All right, this is a little bit different.
I mean, they fought the manager. It's like the same thing.
It's a little different.
First off, I don't think anybody really has fought the manager. I mean, we saw it actually in MLS this week. Gregory Vandervelde tried to fight. What's the Toronto FC? Greg Vanney, and he has been dismissed from Toronto. So if this happens, yes, he should absolutely be fired. But this also was an accumulation of things. Aboubakar had the whole penalty situation with Mitrovic a couple weeks ago. Then him and Mitrovic got into a fight at a yoga session for the team. And I think that's what led to him being banned. And then he ultimately didn't like being banned, or I think he was fined, the end banned. He didn't like the fine, so he tried to confront the president or CEO or somebody, and that's when this whole additional fight happened. And so I think it's an accumulation of things, and at this point, it's well within Fulham's rights to suspend him. And I don't even know, like, why is he still on the team? Like, I don't think there's any way they get a transfer fee from him. Just cut him at this point.
Had multiple people reach out, and at least I've heard
really?
rumor. Yeah, like West Brom. Like definitely sell him. There's no reason. He's a cancer to their locker room at this point.
If you're another club, how?
He's also garbage. Like, why are you keeping him? He's not any good.
I don't know about that.
No reason. He's not.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, if he goes down to the championship, I mean, he could do better there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They should definitely get rid of him. It's better for him. And for the club.
I mean, at this point, yeah, he's not going to play another game for the club. But I'm saying, okay, yeah, his actions are stupid. I was just saying, like, my first point is just kind of like a side note. Like, surprised I don't hear more of this. But that was the only point I was making. Didn't need to get yelled at.
Matt, side
you have to get lectured by you guys about things. But yeah, I mean,
sometimes you need to get lectured, Matt. We're dad's kids.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes sense for him to move on. And how serious was this fight? Like, was he attacking? Like, did he get a hold of the president? Did the president put him down? Like,
no. The security guard fought him, and the police got there and pulled him out, and he got arrested.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty serious.
Yeah. He's not playing again.
Yeah. There's no coming back from that one. All right. Anything else you guys have to add on Kamara here?
Nah.
Dave? No? You're good? All right. So, next topic here. Millwall versus Everton. Hilarious. Everton gets knocked out of the FA Cup yesterday, but we're going to ignore that piece because Millwall's fans did some unspeakable things. The FA is now looking into some of the chants, racist chants that were
unspeakable.
And we're about to talk about it.
Well, yeah, I'm probably not going to say exactly. Well, no, I might. We'll see. It's not. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so we'll see how I'm feeling.
We'll see how racy this gets.
Yeah. Okay. Stay tuned.
No, we're delivering the news.
Okay.
All right. So the FA is investigating into the racist chants of Millwall during the game. They won the game, I believe, 3-2, right? You guys saw that?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So the fans initially were saying, I think there's stars in the article, so it's hard to tell which word they're actually using. No, the first one's not that bad.
Okay, all right. Where are we going here? Can we just be careful?
We'd rather be pussy than scouse is the first one that was said, which is like, okay, that's kind of funny, but like
that's
you really
call people
say that
from Liverpool, right?
That's what they said. We'd rather be pussies than scouse, I think, is what they're saying. And the second one was a very inappropriate about the religion of their owner and said, yeah, like that's what I'll leave it at. We'll just leave it that way.
Okay.
Pretty bad, in my opinion. And the FA is definitely going to step in and do something. Dave, I'll go to you first. What do you think the right retribution is here? Retribution.
So if they can obviously find the specific fans, if it's a fan group, they need to be banned for an extended period of time. And if this is, I know there's all kinds of issues with Millwall fans. We saw the fight on social media, and so if this is an accumulation of things, at a certain point, the club needs to be fined, and there needs to be stronger actions taken at the club. I know people don't always necessarily agree with that because, you know, it's a subset of fans and the club can't necessarily control them. But at a certain point, you have to do something to sort of force the club's hands to try to control them. And so I don't know exactly the whole background here on if this is an accumulation of things. I mean, knowing Millwall's reputation, I think it probably is. And so at a certain point, the club needs to be fined and maybe, I don't know if a stadium ban or a section ban or something needs to happen, but there needs to be progressive steps taken.
Yeah. And just to add on a little bit, there was a brawl outside the stadium after the game as well. And there was a person who was slashed in the face, was taken to the hospital. He is okay, non-life threatening event, but that's still pretty bad. Matt, what do you think needs to happen here?
Yeah, so Dave pretty much answered all the questions I was going to bring up. Like, how do you kind of control it? But like, it's so hard to. I mean, it's just progressive steps because it is just like it's going to be represented on the club. And, you know, like they're not necessarily at fault here. They need to take action quick against it, but it's so hard to kind of blame this all on the club for maybe like a minority of fans. And I don't know how many fans kind of got into it, but, you know, if you're chanting things about the Muslim owner of Everton, you know, you can't be saying that, like, publicly representing your state manner. So it doesn't make, I guess you just have to take action.
Okay. And when you say take action, you don't think they should be dismissed from the cup or anything, correct?
No. Because okay. So like for me, that would be like way too unfair to the players. I mean, to the club, I mean, getting fined and.
Do you think like having an empty stadium or like a section ban or something?
Yeah, that. So like, I would probably close down the whatever section was chanting.
Or force them to have an away game with no away fans allowed to. That's a pop thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one, but I think it would, you know, be more influential if, you know, home fans can't go. And I feel like that would be better for the club to take like that step.
Yeah. I know the club is also looking into it. They said that they're going to find who is really doing it and they're going to do their own disciplinary. I also really good on.
So I don't know if you can hear me. Steven, are you here? Steven, can you let me know if they're freezing or whatnot? So I have the chat feature up and I'm still talking here live. So I think something's going on with my brother's internet. So we're going to take a pause here. And I'm going to try to get them back. So bear with me a second. Because this is obviously not ideal, right? And I don't know if they're just talking to themselves or what they're doing. I'm going to put this on mute. One sec.
Hello?
Yo.
The internet broke.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying to get on my phone.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye. That wasn't on mute. I thought that was on mute. Okay, so they're having internet issues. Yeah, no Dave Knittel show here. Just gonna be it's gonna be me waiting for them. They're stuck here. Let me kick them. Eject. Yes. Okay. So they're gone. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. They seem to have more internet issues than I do, and they're in a pretty stable situation. They have really good internet, so I don't know why they continue to have issues here. So I don't know. What do you want to talk about, Steven? Anything? So you're a Celtic fan. How'd you become a Celtic fan? Let's talk about that. Got a new scarf as well, so I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know if you can see right there. Moderic Alexandria, which I think you saw. I think you liked it on Facebook, if I remember correctly. Hopefully they can get there. The more cool Truman Show, I guess. Yeah, except for you can only see this little part of my life. Not that I have too much else going on. The wife's away this week, so spent a lot of time in this apartment by myself, which is, fine with me. I played a lot of video games, watched a lot of Netflix, and yeah. Any dog leash? Okay. Dog leash is how you became a Celtic fan. All right, because I know you're also a Liverpool fan, right? So was it Liverpool first and that led you to Celtic, or was it the dog leash and then not? Robert Hay keeps telling me he's going to have one. All right, I don't know what that means. Yep, Robert Hay. Can the owner... Oh, man, 13,000 scarves? That's amazing. Hope to get there. How do you have... Wow, that is incredible. That's wild. Okay. Where the fuck are they? At this point, I'm starting to get annoyed, and this is not the greatest show. Can the owner of what? Ken, the owner, has 13,000 scarves. So that's awesome for him, but what is Ken the owner of? One sec. Christian's calling back. Yo.
Can you invite me again?
Yeah. All right. Apologies for these technical difficulties. This doesn't happen too often, but every so often it happens. And yeah, you get a little bonus content of just me talking to myself. Luckily, we have someone here, Steven, to give me company. Usually it's just me talking to myself by myself, which is even that much more sad. Okay. Okay. And they're back with fire. Okay. So we lost you right when you were talking about Millwall. They have a home stadium ban.
Let me get finishing up. I think you were finishing that.
I feel like I finished and I said, does anyone else have anything to add?
Yeah, I feel like that's where we ended.
That's when it froze for us. I don't know. Maybe it's.
I think it froze a couple seconds before. So if you just want to say, dealt with some technical difficulties, we're back. I pretty much made my points. Anything else to add? And then we can go from there.
Okay. Seems like you prepared that.
Seems like you just did that.
Yeah.
Well, you say because it's your segment. It's Christian's Corner. Christian, you have to take responsibility for this.
Dave's podcast is becoming really strict.
I know.
Our podcast.
Okay,
Didn't have brostalkingsoccer.com.
Huh? All right, guys, we're back. I know we had a little bit of a technical difficulty there, so it might be a little weird that we're jumping in again, and it probably broke up a little bit, but I think I made my point there, and I think everyone else did. You guys have anything else to add?
Nope.
I don't. Matt seems like he's got a lot still to say.
I think Matt's asleep.
Yeah.
All right, so last topic here is about our friends Tottenham over there, the hot Spurs. Not so hot Spurs, in my opinion. What do you guys think about them just continually not winning competitions, not winning cups, and kind of being the perennial bridesmaid? Matt, what do you think?
So, it's tough, I guess, to be a Tottenham supporter and be at that top level without really being at the top level, because this is probably the best the team has been in a while, and being able to keep their play. I mean,
they were good back in the 60s.
10 years ago when they had it wasn't even 10 years. It was probably
5 years ago,
7 years ago when they had Bale, Modric, and all of them.
I don't think that team was better than this one.
I know, but
I
don't think so either. But I'm saying they're able to keep these stars now, and it seems like.
Oh, motherfuckers. Are you kidding me? What's going on with the internet over there?
What?
Okay, you're back. Okay. My
we
bad.
never, ever had a break. And we just heard everything.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You sure it's not your internet?
Yeah, fuck you, Dave. God.
No, it's not my internet. Okay, sorry about that.
Wow.
Yeah. I
what
was
the
like,
fuck is going on over there?
Did they say something about Deli Ali that really just triggered
Yeah,
you?
no, he was
Oh,
like,
my bad.
so mad about
All right. That's my fault. People, we try not to explicitly curse for no reason at all on here. But sorry, we've been dealing with some technical issues. I thought we had another one. Matt, I apologize for interrupting you.
Okay, so as I was saying, after another sequence of technical difficulties, they're able to keep these players like Kane and Dele Alli now, which they were previously selling, but at the same time, they're not spending as much as they probably could be, or as much as the fans want, because of the stadium just being built. So I think saying that they're like a failure, it's kind of a tough statement, because in a way, like, they're being very successful with the funds they have.
Well, I just want to say I did not say failure. I said perennial bridesmaids. So, Dave, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I don't think they're failures in any way, but it is frustrating as a Tottenham fan. I also think that it's not I know it seems like a cultural thing and they're always destined to underperform, but like being Philadelphia fans, like we can kind of relate, but also there is that light at the end of the tunnel. There is that time where you do end up breaking through. And so I don't think they're destined to never win a trophy or anything like that. They can win a trophy with this group, and it's just kind of been unfortunate circumstances why they haven't. And so for me, it's obviously disappointing and frustrating for Tottenham fans, but it's not like they're never going to be able to win with their current squad. That's what I wanted to say.
So when you say unfortunate circumstances, you mean that there are better teams?
No, I mean, they lost in penalty kicks to Chelsea. Like, what do you mean? Like they were neck and neck with them.
I see. Okay. I mean, Chelsea sucks, so I don't really.
Expert analysis. Great.
I think Tottenham are a better team than Chelsea right now. I think Tottenham are clearly the third best team in England right now. Well, probably debatable, but clearly, I think they are the third best team in England right now, and they're just not ready to compete with Man City and Liverpool in the league, in my opinion. Even though they're kind of right behind, I still don't think that they're ready.
Well, and like, so for right now, like, this is like the thing, like, they have people go down. Unfortunately, they have Kane and Ali both go down, and they just can't replace it.
No Son.
Yeah, but he's coming back now.
Did they lose?
Yeah, they lost.
Guitar, I think.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
In their like quarters or something like that. So yeah, he's coming back, but they just don't have the depth to really compete with everything.
Which everybody knew. We were all talking about it during the summertime. They didn't buy anybody, and I still don't think they've bought anybody this winter transfer window, right?
They bought nobody.
Yeah. It's just really interesting. And I get that they have a lot of money tied up with the stadium and whatnot, but it's just asking a lot from the squad, and especially for a club at Tottenham's level, like they need to reinforce.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else you guys want to add on Tottenham?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think we got our point across.
All right. Yeah, I feel bad for them. I think they have a really good manager. I think they have a good squad. But again, like you guys said, they have no depth, and it's going to bite them.
Do you really feel bad for them?
No. But I feel like I needed to say it. All right.
Because we said it.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks for clearing that up, Matt. That's the last thing I had to add. You guys good?
Yeah.
We done with Christian's Corner? All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back with Dave's Dives right after this.
Good stuff. All right. My bad. If your computer froze, and it froze for a little bit on my screen. That's why I lost my shit.
Yeah, it didn't freeze at all. And like I was like in the middle of talking.
You just started, motherfuckers.
My bad. Yeah, I get a little frustrated sometimes when we have technical difficulties, especially because we're live. What's up, everybody? Wanted to give a quick plug for our partner, FNX.network. FNX.network is a website that has all different kinds of content for you across a variety of topics. Not specific to sports, although they do have sports on there. They also have entertainment, video games, lifestyle, tech, movies, and more. Go check all of that stuff out on FNX.network. All right, are you two okay? What? I just hear noises coming from your end, and Christian looks like he's losing his shit right now. What's going on over there?
You didn't hear the noise, Matt?
I did. I tried to just.
I had a burp, cough, mix.
And he went.
Yeah, I just powered through it.
Oops. I was trying to keep it in as best as possible. Then it just
didn't happen.
You did great.
Hit all over.
Nice. You guys excited for the U.S. game later?
Yeah. Oh my God. You see like the tickets? It's like
6,000 sold.
Yeah, because the cheapest one was like
That I don't agree with. Like, it's like $35 fucking dollars. Like, I'm going. So they're in San Jose next week, and so like I bought tickets. The stadium's pretty cool, but $35 isn't that crazy expensive. I know it's a B team for the U.S. and probably a B or C team for Panama, but I don't know. It's like I don't know how much cheaper people wanted it. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a mistake having it in a like 80,000 seater stadium is an idiotic move, but yeah, I don't know. The atmosphere is going to be so weird.
I think $35 for the cheapest ticket is too expensive.
What do you think it should be, Matt?
I think $35 is very reasonable.
Sixers.
Like our sweatshirts.
Yes. $35 is nothing.
Our sweatshirts last forever. These games are only like 2 hours.
But the experience lasts a lifetime.
Okay, the culture you get from the sweatshirt. You know,
very true.
Our culture lasts a lifetime.
Yeah.
However long we live.
Yeah, like I don't know, Sixers games were like $8 for 5 years.
They were
because they were fucking terrible.
Yeah, we didn't qualify for the freaking World Cup, and we're playing Panama in January.
Valid point. Valid point. Can't really.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
Both B teams?
Yeah, we're playing.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, whatever. I didn't think it was crazy expensive, but I guess maybe. I mean, if you have a family of 4 or 5, yeah, I think it adds up. And so if it's like closer to $20, maybe. But, you know, we're just like rolling in the cash. So like $35 is just like nothing to us, you know?
Yeah, we're so wealthy.
Podcast is blowing up. All right.
That's why I'm living in my parents' basement right over there.
All right, let's get into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dave's Dive. Let's dive into the topics that we're talking about right here. First up, Matt Miazga. So he was playing for FC Nantes. By all accounts, he just like packed up in the middle of the night and just pieced out, went back to Chelsea, and he has since been loaned to Reading in the Championship. Let's go to Matt first here. Matt, what do you make of this whole Miazga situation? You know, did he do the right thing leaving Nantes? And let's approach it as if he just made that decision. So if he just upped and left, what do you think?
So the right decision, yes, but the wrong way to do it. He, from what I saw, and like how you said it, he kind of just pieced out. Like he walked, and it was before like they terminated the loan deal. They didn't even know where he was, and he was just like, all right, back at Chelsea. Yeah. So like that's just like weird to me, kind of how that whole thing went down. I think it was kind of inevitable that he would not be playing for Nantes anymore. Well, not on the team. He's already not playing. So it made sense for him to try to find game time, but the way he did it and, you know, just how the story broke out, it didn't go the right way.
Christian, what do you think about the whole situation?
Right decision. I agree. Very much the wrong way to go about it. Very. I don't know if it's hard for me to just say that it was his decision because it's Chelsea, and I don't believe that. And I feel like he was pressured to do what he was doing. But it was definitely very, very sneaky to just up and leave like Mr. Deeds' butler. I forget what his name is. You remember that? No? Okay. Cool. All right.
Yeah,
so
we remember. I don't remember his name.
I can't either. He likes to touch feet, though. All right, so we're going to keep moving along here. Going to Reading, I think, is a bold move. I feel like they're in a really, really precarious position at the bottom of the table right now. And hopefully he comes in and is able to save the day, Captain America style. But who knows? You know? Yeah. And I think it's probably the best for his career development. He shouldn't be at Chelsea. I think they should sell him. I don't think he's going to break through there. But for now, I think being in the Championship makes sense.
I agree that he needs to move on from Chelsea. I think we talked about this in the past, but he's just been constantly loaned out, and it's just not good for your long-term career development to just be constantly being loaned out. And so he needs to be on a club that is invested in him, and invested in his long-term development for him to progress. He's still only 23. Now that is the age for soccer players where they need to start getting game time and really start progressing in their career. And I think he needs to move on from Chelsea. I guess Reading is good because it's in England. He'll be fighting in the Championship. It's a tough league, and if he gets game time, it could be really good. But I also agree he didn't leave Nantes in the right way. And in a soccer career, I think it's so small. That world is so small and interconnected. I don't think it's ever good to really burn bridges. And so I think he kind of did that at Nantes, and you never know how that might come back to hurt him. So from that perspective, I also think it wasn't the wisest decision. He could have, manned up, had a conversation and been like, hey, I'm leaving, at least on that. But who knows? Maybe Chelsea pressured him into it. I don't know if we'll ever really get the story, but that's my perspective. Matt, anything else to add?
Well, you always say we always kind of blame the players, and that's always kind of just the way media deals with it. But shouldn't Nantes take some of the blame, for how they treated him? I mean, it was not a good experience for him. So I can understand it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it also comes back to they have no ties to him. They brought him in to perform. He wasn't performing, and he immediately got dropped. So they have no vested interest in trying to get him to perform better. They have other players who either were performing better or were younger, and they could make money off of them doing better. And so that it's where the whole loan system kind of breaks down.
And that's why they're changing it, right?
Not really. I mean, they're just limiting the number of loans, right? So I still think you'll have this. But you'll still have the same situation, right? If regardless of how many,
if you're loaning less people out, there's probably more incentive to play those people because you can only get a certain number of loan players. So I think if it's not because Chelsea's able to send people everywhere, I feel like because more people will be tied to their clubs, that it's gonna be, the people that are loaned, it's not going to be this huge number where this club gets all these players that are going to be there for 6 months or a year. It's going to be just a couple of them to kind of help out in specific positions they need.
Yeah, but I still think it's going to be the same situation. Where if that player's not performing, there's no incentive for the club to keep playing that player. They're going to bench him and just completely forget about him and try to play other players. It's still the same situation. What?
They'll just be sold, which is better for their career because they'll be playing with the same people and have more incentive to stay there.
No, so I think you're talking about two different things. I'm talking about a club taking a player on loan. So I am Sunderland, right? I take a player on loan from Chelsea. Okay. Even though I can only have, a handful of players on loan, I'm still taking that player on loan, and I have a ton of other players on my roster or whatnot. As soon as that loan player starts underperforming, I'm going to play another player who I have under contract because that player can be sold. It's still the exact same situation. Yes, fewer players are going to be on loan, but it's still going to be the same problems, in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to agree on this, but let's move on. Next topic I wanted to cover here over on these shores. Ernst Tanner, the Philadelphia Union new GM, has basically come out and said Mark McKenzie, the talented center back for the U.S. men's national team. He's on the 23-man roster for this camp. He's already come out and said that if McKenzie's playing well for the Union will not let him go to the U20 World Cup. Christian, what do you think about Ernst Tanner saying they're not going to release this player for the U20 World Cup?
Before we start that, can you just announce to everyone who's listening what you were wrong about?
I may have been wrong about on Stephen Brandt's podcast this past week. Christian said the Union may play. So Stephen Brandt's podcast is the Yellow Card podcast. We were on there. Go give that a listen. Christian said that the Union may play a 3-man back line. I said there was no chance of that happening. And apparently news came out of Union camp that they've been working on a lot of 3-man back drills. So I could be wrong about that. It is not proven yet. So I'm going to keep could in there. Christian, continue.
Okay. So I feel like this is a very tricky one because I know there are rules where a club can't stop somebody from Oh, no, that's not what it is. A player can't reject an offer, right? That's what it is.
Well, also if it's a FIFA international window, you have to release players, but that's not the case for the U20 World Cup.
Oh, it's not. Okay. I still think it's not right that they can do that. I think that if he earns the right, he has a right to represent the national team at a World Cup. And I know it's a youth World Cup. It's not the big deal, but there are games being played for the union and they have to worry about themselves as well. So it's a tricky situation. I think they should release him if he wants to go. It should be his decision. But at the end of the day, like the union are looking out for themselves. So it's hard for them to just say, yeah, we will release him if he's called in.
So that was a little wishy-washy there. So like if the union pays his contract, isn't it their right to say yes or no, he can go?
It is their right. Like they absolutely can because it's not a FIFA sanctioned event, I guess. Is that what we're going to call it?
Well, no, it's a FIFA sanctioned event, but it's just not a requirement for clubs to release players because it's a youth tournament.
I just think that should be changed then. If they want people to go, then the Youth World Cup should follow the same rules as international play.
That's a good point, Matt. What about you? What do you think?
So I think he should be able to go, and I think it would only help his long-term development and being in the system, playing with a group of guys like through the youth system and going to this World Cup. I think it's a better chance for him to get into the senior national team. So I think for the union, for his long-term development and happiness, to let him go do these like experiences. Like this might be the only World Cup he ever gets to go. I don't know if he went to the 17s or what another one, but I'm not sure if he has, but this could be the only World Cup experience in his life. So I think it would be better, like more beneficial to the club to even just let him go and just experience that for himself. And for such a month without a center back, like I feel like that's manageable.
I'd agree with that. And I also think from the club's perspective, in addition to his long-term development, the club wants to be a club where young players come, develop, and they move them on. The union have basically modeled their whole entire club on that. The U20 World Cup is a huge opportunity to showcase their players. And so McKenzie could go, do incredibly well, and attract interest from clubs all over the world and ultimately, earn a sale. And so also with that, it incentivizes other young players to come to the union. And again, it just kind of builds the pipeline and builds their reputation. So for me, I think this is a little short-sighted from the union to miss him for a month in MLS play where, let's be honest, regular season MLS play isn't exactly the most critical thing. Teams can go through periods of peaks and dips in form. I know periods can go through peaks and valleys in form, but really you got to get hot towards the end of the season. Then you can get into the playoffs and roll from there. So this would happen, fairly early in the season. And so for me, they should absolutely release him. So that's where I come down on everything. Christian, anything else to add here?
Nope.
Matthew?
No.
Let's talk about somebody else on the other end of their career. Landon Donovan is making a comeback, guys. So Landon Donovan, U.S. men's national team legend. I believe I guess he tied with Clint Dempsey, all-time leading goal scorer, all-time assist leader. He's making a comeback in the Major Arena Soccer League, so indoor league. San Diego Shockers is who he's coming back to play with, and he's making like $250,000 a year. Matt, what do you think about Landon Donovan making a return in the indoor league?
Okay, so I did not know this was the indoor league. So now I am more okay with it. But yeah, I mean, you brought this up earlier with like the Brett Favre situation of coming in and out of retirement. You mentioned about Tim Howard. Yeah.
Good
His
recap,
name.
Matt.
Goalkeeper. I'm fine with the move. Indoor league, it's not the same thing. I think it's for him to kind of keep playing, stay in shape, and still make money, kind of doing what he loves. So I have no problem with it because it's not the same level. You know what I mean? Like it's not the same game, and anything to bring fans. Like he's probably helping the indoor league, and helping that brand so much more than anybody else. To be honest, I can't
It's like
say
Johnny Manziel playing in arena football.
Did he play in arena football?
That's where he is now, isn't he?
He's in
I think
Canada.
he's in Canada.
Somebody was, I forget who it is. Somebody's playing. Is it Tebow? Is he doing that?
No, he's playing baseball.
Somebody definitely did it.
Somebody's playing in the Arena League. Okay, there you have it. Breaking news.
Football. Facts. But yeah.
There was a lot of talking there. I didn't catch Matt's whatever the hell he was saying there, but I'm sure it was fantastic and insightful. Christian, what do you make of Donovan coming back in the Arena League?
God, I just don't want to see him, and I don't think I'll have to, so it's great. But he is a legend of the U.S. game. He is going to help the Bruce Arena League, was what I'm going to call it because it's hilarious. And yeah,
Matt really liked that one.
It was play on words. Bruce Arena was the national team coach,
and he was also Donovan's coach in LA.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we're just tying it all together. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Okay, so. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's a little bit frustrating for Landon Donovan because, he went through those. I think he's retired twice already now. And, it's almost a little bit of what could have been, with Landon. And if he would have just been fully committed to the game throughout his career. But, it is what it is. I know he dealt with some mental issues throughout his career and needed to take breaks from the game to get him right. And so ultimately, it's his career, his decisions. It's more just a little bit of, not frustration as a fan, but just like missing out on what could have been like an amazing, he had an amazing career, but it could have even been that much more. So for me, it's just a little bit of that, but wish him well and happy that he's attracting attention to the major arena soccer league. Cause apparently Dwayne De Rosario is playing in that, which I didn't realize. So anything else to add, Matthew?
No.
Christian.
Steven's very active on the Slack channel about sending gifts of Brett Favre right now. So
okay. Yes. Thank you, Steven, for joining us on YouTube and then and also over on Slack. And we'll tell you about Slack in a little bit. But before we do that, go check out the Soccer Tavern. It's a YouTube channel. We're making videos about the history, culture, and philosophy of the beautiful game. May have somebody helping me out with research. We may try to get those videos started up again. So we'll see about that. Listener question. Only have one this week. It's from @2foottalk. So that's our friend Anthony. When Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain returns for Liverpool, whose spot does he take in the midfield? Christian, you're the Liverpool fan. Who do you think he takes?
Ooh, wow. This is an interesting one. Henderson. Yeah. Enough said.
I don't think he's the starter as it is. So say
he better not be if we're going to win anything.
So who's the starting center midfielder? Starting center midfield three.
The field three?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if we're going to stick with the same formation, I say Shaqiri's going to be on the right and Salah's up front, which means Firmino would drop into the 10 and Fabinho and either Genie or Ox. So I guess he would be taking Genie's spot in that free floating role.
Matt, any thoughts to add here?
Wait, when have they put Firmino in the midfield?
That's where he plays for the last 2 months.
Really?
Yeah. He plays underneath.
Really? Oh, well, I don't know. Then, I mean, I don't see him if you don't have a defensive player. Like if you're having no defense in the midfield, that would be risque. Considering, well, forgot about him.
So how many beers have you had?
Yeah, I've had enough. So wait, so Fabinho, you're saying Fabinho, Firmino, and
Ox
are the three midfielders?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, two of them are natural forwards, so it was just surprising to me if they went
forward.
Firmino and Ox are
Ox
both
is not a forward.
I wouldn't say Ox is a forward.
His entire career.
No,
I don't think so.
Okay,
he was a wing.
That's a forward.
No. But he was more of like a flank midfielder than a wing. Are we really going to get into this detail? I would not consider Ox a forward. And for Liverpool, he's been a center midfielder.
I could also see him easily taking Shaqiri's spot and starting on the wing.
Yeah, but I'm saying taking 5 natural forwards on your team and starting them, I don't think that necessarily works.
But he's not a natural forward.
Yes, he is. We just discussed it.
Yeah, and we disagreed. We did discuss it, and we don't agree.
Anthony, fantastic question. You're getting us debating. So I think the midfield three. So let's assume Firmino, Salah, and Mane are the three up top. However you want to structure them. I actually like Fabinho, Keita, and Ox as a midfield three. I think that would be really interesting and dynamic in midfield. So that's what I'll say on that topic. Before we get, So drop Shaqiri. Before we get to the listener questions, this week I figured out that we actually have more podcast reviews than I first understood. So we have 16 5-star reviews. Thank you for everybody that left reviews. And we have a couple written ones as well. I think we've already read Soccer Noob's review. So real quick, just wanted to give a shout out to the 3 other people that left reviews. So first up, on December 17th, MAJDOS95. I'm going to say Majdos95 said funny and entertaining. Just trying to boost those ratings for y'all. Thank you, Majdos95. Anthony, the guy who just answered the questions, had this review. It's titled The Beards. I've been living my life listening to football pundits without beards, and now I have these 3 with the beautiful beards and beautiful football minds. What a time to be alive. That's a shout out to our shirt. Hilarious review, and we really appreciate that. Last one came from Best Review Ever. So a little foreshadowing there. Title, Incredible. This podcast shows meaningful discussion about the game we all love. I'd recommend it to everyone. So thank you very much. Best review ever. Wanted to give shout outs, and please consider leaving us a review. It really, really helps us out. It helps people find the show, and we really, really appreciate that. So shout out everyone who has left a review. Christian, over to you for our trivia question.
All right. To recap the trivia question, it's not about Liverpool or Messi. So I want to really drill that
So
point
first,
in.
this is groundbreaking.
Yeah. So it is about Borussia Dortmund. When was the last time both Marco Reus and Mario Götze scored prior to yesterday when they did it?
January 11th, 2011.
Wow, that's so many ones.
It's too many ones, Dave.
Too many ones. All right, I'm gonna say. When the hell was Götze?
They also take a winter break, so there's 0% chance I'm correct.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say October 19th, 2013.
This is such a ridiculous question, but okay. Christian,
I was trying to see how close you could get. Matt was definitely closer. It was in 2013.
Hey,
I'm pulling it up just to make 100% sure this time. It is January 19th, 2013. It was over 6 years ago that they both did that.
So I was like, because I was January, so that's but really it's time of year. I thought we were just going time of year. I didn't realize it was also year.
Oh yeah,
yeah, totally. Guys, make sure, listeners, thank you so much for listening. Please go check out our hoodies. They're on sale right now. We got them in black, red, or blue. Available, white logo. I think it looks really, really awesome. I'm excited to get mine. $35. $3 for every hoodie sold goes to Balls to Cancer, and it's on sale until February 10th. Already gave the plug for leaving us a review. Please consider doing that. Christian, can you tell people about our Slack channel, which you alluded to earlier?
I would love to. So it's an interactive interface. Ooh, a lot of inners there. And you can communicate with us, other soccer fans. If you want to get involved in it, you have to email us at brostalkingsoccer@gmail.com. And you can talk about all these different subjects that we have channels for. There's the Premier League, all the top 5 leagues, MLS, international soccer, feedback, stuff about the podcast, gaming, all good stuff involved with soccer. And it would really mean a lot for us to have you in there.
Absolutely. And we discussed other things too. We were talking about the Sunderland documentary this week. Also, a little shout out to Soccer Noob. Last week, Christian used the word scrutinous. And Soccer Noob is a big fan of what's that? The game with the oh god damn it, Scrabble. Yep, Scrabble. And I guess he's very familiar with dictionaries. So apparently, scrutinous is not a word that would have been recognized in the U.S. or Canada, but it is recognized other places that speak English. So that's a little fun fact for you, and a little extra content from the Slack channel. So you're missing out on that when you're not in there, but also tons of other great stuff.
I speak many languages. So.
What is our Twitter handle, Matthew?
At BT Soccer Pod.
And our email?
Bros. I just said it. Talking Soccer Podcast. No, damn it.
bros.talking.soccer@gmail.com. Also, if you send brostalkingsoccer@gmail.com, that will work. Fun fact for you guys, Gmail does not recognize the dots. So you have dots in your email, it doesn't matter. It'll still come to us, whether you include them or not. Our website is brostalkingsoccerpodcast.com. You can read about us, check out past episodes. And if you want to support the show and are buying anything on Amazon, go to our store link, click the link to Amazon, and whatever you end up purchasing, can you stop whispering over there? Whatever you end up purchasing, we get a small percentage of that. It really, really helps us out. And it's just a couple extra steps, no additional cost to you, though. Also, we may be getting brostalkingsoccer.com as our domain name. I have it. I just am getting it over and linking it all up. So hopefully you could just go to brostalkingsoccer.com in the near future and visit the website. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Christian, thank you.
David, it was my honor.
Okay. Do you want to share what you guys were whispering about like little girls?
I was laughing. You said with your dots, how Google doesn't need dots. I was saying, so can you just do gmail.com? Do you not need .com?
You need .com. Thank you, Matt, for clarifying that.
So it does recognize dots.
Matt, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on your show, Dave.
Listeners, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. This week, we are interviewing Paul Behan, the founder of Football Kit Box. So the interview is happening tomorrow, January 28th, and the podcast on our YouTube channel, and the podcast will be out later in the week on Thursday. I don't know what date that is, but it'll be out Thursday. Tune in live and look for that interview. We'll talk to you soon. Say, everybody, thanks for being here. People on YouTube, thank you
January 31st
for being here. Thanks for saying that after we're done recording.
I said it, and then you just didn't react. So
you gotta be louder. You gotta enunciate.
Enunciate.
All right, people. See ya. Thanks for being here. Bye bye.